Hi everyone, this is Sally Fowler with Disabled Advantage Dog Training. I want to answer a quick question on should I let my dog play on a hill that I've seen owners do and I've been asked recently about. The answer to that question is if you are going to let your dog play on a hill, please wait until your dog is done growing. It would be incredibly easy for a puppy to, and even an adult dog, to lose their balance on a hill doing sharp turns and going really fast and changing pace all of a sudden, to fall and tumble and break themselves or sprain something. The reason Austin is on a long line in this video is because he wasn't fully off-leash trained yet. I don't necessarily recommend that you let dogs play together on a long line. Yes, I'm doing something bad and dangerous here. I'm very experienced with handling lines and these dogs and their play styles, and so I felt like we could manage it in the moment. And mostly Max was ignoring him while Austin tore around the yard, so it was mostly okay. But I slowed down both of these clips for you guys because I want you to see the kind of forces that your dog's body is undergoing, not only when they're running around the yard, but also when they're running around the yard up and downhill. So anytime you add a change in terrain type or you add a change in angle, the force of impact that's going to be on your dog's body is going to change. There's a difference between playing in grass and playing in sand. There's a difference between playing on a flat grassy yard and playing on a hilly grassy yard. Now, if you don't have any options, you only have a hill in your yard, you just got to make the best out of what you're presented with. I was not thrilled to have Austin playing on this hill, but we were at my friend's house. This is what there was, so we made the best of it. And I kept a very close eye on him, and playtime was kept pretty short. Now, because of his size, also, he got pretty tired real fast playing on this hill. He was galloping up and down the hill. He mainly did really large circles, which helped him maintain his balance and his speed, but it wore him out faster than just running on flat ground would have, and so that worked out better for me because it meant he wasn't doing it for as long, and he was tired, which was great, but it also presents a problem, especially if your dog is still growing. So should you do it? Use caution. Keep a close eye on your dog. Be judicious about it. If your dog starts to stumble, maybe consider, hey, let's take a break. Let's rest for a little bit. Let's not overdo this. I definitely wouldn't let your dog play on a hill if it's wet and slippery because the chance of them falling is even higher. Now, you also need to consider, is your dog a pet dog or is your dog a service dog that you're relying on for the well-being of your disability or the disability of someone you love? Because if that's the case, you may want to be even more conservative and just say, you know what, we're not going to play on hills. Now, I'm willing to take the chance because of how much work I put into conditioning Austin and the amount of body awareness training we've done with Austin, and I know accidents can still happen. So I'm always aware of that when he and Max play on this hill. Also, this hill is steep, but it's not a drop off a cliff. If it was any steeper than this, I would not let Austin play on it for his safety. In this video, Austin is off-leash trained, finally, and you're also getting to see the dynamics of when two dogs play together in slow motion on a hill. And so, again, you're getting a lot of different impact on the dog's body. The dog is falling over. I don't know if it's in this video, but I know in other times when we've watched them play, there's been a few times where one of the dogs has actually slid partway down the hill if they land and roll at just the right part on the hill. It's not ideal terrain, no. If it's the only thing you have, I would think about ways that you can help your dog strengthen their body, learn body awareness, learn paw awareness, all that stuff seems silly and useless, but I have seen it myself go a long way in teaching the dog how to use their body and how to maneuver themselves so that they don't fall down. And that's been really great in keeping the dog safe as well. This is one of their favorite games to play, is alternating chase and switching up who's going what direction and playing merry-go-round hide and seek around this shed. This is actually good because this is on a flatter part of the yard, and so it gives their bodies a little bit of a break, but they're also running at a sharp turn the entire time, which also puts different forces on the dog's body. And if you look closely, you can see a lot of times whenever they're landing, their paws are extending all the way or flexing all of the way to absorb the shock of their body hitting the ground so that they don't fall over. It's incredible the ways that dogs use their bodies during play, and a lot of people just don't realize that play is a high impact thing. It can definitely be a low impact thing, but it takes more control and more structure on your end to teach the dog how to play with control. And then always being ready to, first of all, supervise playtime all the time. Anytime it's between another dog, even if it's just your dog playing by themselves, crazy stuff can happen, and it can happen so fast. So you always want to supervise your dog's playtime, and then also always be ready to step in and tell your dog they need to take a break, tell your dog they need to rest. Especially puppies won't necessarily stop when they need to stop, and they'll go too far and then have tired tantrums later. And keep in mind that when you let your dog play on a hill or play on a slope, they're going to be more tired than if they had done this on flat ground, because it's not just playing with a dog. It's not just playing with a toy. It's playing with a dog or a toy on an angle, and that angle makes everything just a little bit harder. It's like when you increase the incline on your treadmill or you walk up a hill on a walk, it takes more effort from you. And so their bodies are constantly having to do a lot of micro adjustments to make sure that they don't fall down, they don't lose their balance, they don't hurt themselves. And that adds to the amount of stress that's being put on your dog's body. So those are some of the things to keep in mind when you play with your dog on a hill. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you do something like fetch on a hill, it might be a better idea to play fetch across the hill as opposed to straight up and down the hill. When you throw something down the hill, your dog's going to be going very fast. Physics is going to be on their side in a greater capacity, and so it's really easy for them to overshoot their target and accidentally fall or put a bunch of front end shock on their front end shock when they land wherever their toy is at the base of the hill. Or if their toy stopped halfway down the hill, they have to put a bunch of shock absorption in their front end to stop halfway down the hill, not flip over, not fall down, grab the toy, spin around, and then put all the drive into their haunches to launch them forward up the hill again. You might think, well, what if I played fetch uphill? The problems there still apply. Going uphill might be fine, but your dog's going to have to come back down the hill to come to you, and then you have whatever pound your dog is hurtling downhill at you, and if they miss and slam into you, you are both very likely to get injured. So should I play with my dog on hills? I would think about it. I would think through the hazards, weigh the pros and cons of it, and just, if you are going to do it, be mindful that there are a lot of different things at play other than just what you think you're looking at. There's a lot of other forces happening on your dog's body because the hill is now part of that equation.